So I actually did it. I actually went a month on semen retention. I really can't believe it. I didn't think it would be possible. So what are my goals? My goals are to make it another month. I kind of waffled on this. I was like, well, maybe I should just go week by week, but no. I've been quit a month. I'm going to commit to another month on video. That way if I break it, then I have to make another video and shame myself before the viewing public. My second goal is to reset the dopamine receptors in my brain. They're still not fully reset yet, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Some realizations that I've come to is I don't actually enjoy watching corn. Maybe there was a point when I started my addiction to where I actually did enjoy it and found it interesting, but over the years, it was something I did more as a compulsion as for pure enjoyment value, and I'm kind of just reverting back to when I started. I think I was 13 when I started, and my mind's kind of going back to that healthy place with a lifetime of experiences behind it. Some challenges that I've had, dopamine withdrawal is a big one. My brain is definitely trying to compensate for not having adequate, the amount of dopamine stimulus that masturbation provided. So it's an adjustment process. Your brain screams at you sometimes. It wants you to do something that's going to release some dopamine. I mean, for me, that means cheating on sweets a little bit, or maybe getting a little bit more exercise a day than I normally would. And I'm hoping my brain is going to reset itself almost completely in a few months, like to 85%. It's reset itself a little bit, but not enough to where there aren't still struggles. Not enough to where I'm not, feeling that dopamine craving. But it comes and goes. It's up and down. Other challenges I've noticed is anxiety. I've always had anxiety ever since I was young. So I think why I actually got the addiction to that kind of material was because of my anxiety, and it was kind of a short-term cure for it. So I have to learn more coping mechanisms to deal with anxiety without releasing. And I do use like hydroxyzine to help as needed. It's kind of an anti-anxiety medication if I need to take it. And flatline is a big one. I covered that in my previous video, where you reach kind of a peak and then you kind of have a crash. And flatline is difficult, but it's just part of the process. And you have to know that it's not going to last forever. I went through probably a day 16 to day 26 flatline. Maybe I'm still a little bit in it, but I'm mostly over it. So let's talk about some of the benefits. I have 3 benefits here I can talk about. The first is increased productivity. I have more free time. I probably spent 30 minutes a day consuming that kind of material on average. I didn't time myself, but I would be guessing about half an hour a day. And that's a significant amount of time in your waking life where you could be doing something else with your time. Brain fog is the second area of increased productivity. When you're in that mindset of releasing, your brain is depleted for up to a few days until you stop using. So your brain is constantly in a haze, which makes you less effective at whatever you're doing. So when you combine the free time and the absence of the brain fog, I would say I'm probably 15 to 25% more productive after a month than when I was releasing and consuming explicit content. So, that's manifested in other ways. I've had more intellectual curiosity. I've wanted to try new things. I've been making a lot of videos across a couple YouTube channels. It's the kind of thing where it just adds up over time. It's not a lot on a day if you go on a daily basis, but over the course of weeks or months, it really starts to add up to positive improvement in your life. So the second benefit is extra energy. There's definitely a testosterone boost. I think the biggest gain for me was in the first 14 days, up until I had my first flatline. I don't think your energy is going to go up forever, right? That would be unrealistic. On day 365, you'd be flying like Superman. So I think your brain does find a new normal, and you don't really think of it as extra energy. You just think of it as your normal state of energy, which is, better than previously. So I've noticed I want to do a lot more physical activities, sometimes a bit too much because I'm trying to get that dopamine hit, but I do have more energy overall. The third benefit involves improved interactions and relationships with other people. I've noticed that it's easier to make conversation over little things. I'm more willing to engage in conversation with people. I'm better able to read people's intentions and motivations. Some people say, oh, it made me better with women. But I noticed that what really happened was it made me better with men. I had more positive interactions with men. And I don't mean that in a gay way. I just mean like a day-to-day life of meeting, interacting, and dealing with men, where men would just give me free stuff or men would help me out more with something. My view of women has changed significantly. I realized that when I was consuming corn and releasing, I viewed women as objects, and I didn't realize the extent until I stopped for a month. And now I just see women as people. They're just like guys. They just have their own motivations, their own desires, their own dreams. Some women are bad, some women are good, some women are in between. I don't put women on a pedestal, and I don't think ill of all women. They're just you see them as you'd see anyone in society. And another thing I've noticed that is it's easier to discern low quality women when you're retaining from high quality women. And I just have no interest in dealing with low energy women that have spiritual decay, that aren't walking with Christ, that don't have anything to offer. I'm just not really interested in them. I don't know why I would be interested in them. Men get fooled because of looks so many times, and that doesn't determine the quality of a woman. That's very deceptive. Women can do miracles with makeup. Go look on YouTube about some of these transformations. Don't be fooled. A woman's character is much deeper than what she looks like on the skin level. So those are my observations, and I look forward to making videos in the future. I'll probably do 1 month updates. Every month I'll do an update, and then every week I'll have a video where I do cover a specific aspect of semen retention, kind of a thematic topic. So I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week.